So we're going to recap what we saw in the last lesson, which is how to create a custom color set. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to choose new color set from this list. I'm going to say new color set 1 is fine. And I'm just going to go ahead and delete the yellow that's in there by default. We don't need that color in there. And now I'm just going to pick some colors. So I like that color. I'm going to go ahead and press plus, 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 and plus. So I've got a little nice color set of colors that I'll be using over and over again. And I can also click and drag from existing color sets that are visible. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to choose something like, say, our cerulean blue. I'm going to click and drag it down. And you want to make sure that you drag it to the point where that little blue icon that shows where it's going to be dropped is, so that that will tell you that it's actually going to be dropped down here. Because if you let it go before that appears, then it just isn't going to work. I'm going to grab our quinacridone red. I'm going to drag it down like so. And there we go. So now we've got a new color set. And if I wanted to, I could save this at this point by saying export color set. Now I don't want to, so I'm not going to bother doing it, but I'll show you what that looks like. So I would just choose the new color set 1 and I would say OK, and it would go ahead and save that out. But I'm not going to do that just yet. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this color set because we don't want to keep it. So I'm going to say remove color set. I'm going to choose new color set from the drop down list, which is the only one that's available to us. And I'm going to hit OK. Now, removing the library permanently deletes the library from your computer, from Painter. Do you want to remove the selected library? Yes. Now, that's a big, scary thing, but it's not really all that big of a deal, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to come over here now, and I'm going to say Restore Default Color Set. And I'm going to choose the Painter colors, because remember we have that ability to choose 72 pencils, gray range, Painter colors, and spectrum. So I'm going to choose Painter colors to get those two colors that I dragged out back. Hit OK. And now you might be wondering, well, where were those other colors that it was talking about? Well, if we come over here to this flyout list, you'll see that we have color set libraries. Right now, of the 4 defaults that are always loaded in Painter, the only one that we have visible right now is Painter colors. So let's go ahead and make the others visible. So we'll start with 72 pencils, then we'll do gray range, and then we'll do spectrum. So right there you can see that these are all the different color sets that are available to us by default in Coreal Painter. No matter what we're doing, these will always be there, and we can restore any of these back to default at any point in time that we want to. We can also hide all of these. It doesn't matter whether they're hidden or not. They'll always be as part of the default color set libraries that are loaded with Coreal Painter. And I'm going to hide all of these right now, like so. Now, you might ask yourself, well, what's the advantage of hiding all these? Well, let's say that you want to import a color set. And there's some really nice color sets that we can work with. So we're going to go ahead and import one now. So we're going to come over here. We're going to choose Import Color Set. This will take us to the support files. Now, the support files are located in the C drive, Program Files, Coreal, Painter 12, Support Files. Now, it'll automatically take you there, but that's where this is in case you need to know. So we'll go to Color Sets. And there's a lot of different color sets here that we could choose from. However, the one that's probably going to be most useful to you if you're a professional designer is the Pantone color sets. So if I come in here, we'll look at the process coded colors, which is pretty much the standard for any type of process colored printing that you would use for communicating between designers and editors and clients. It's a really powerful color system, and it's very, very tightly regimented. So I highly recommend that you use the Pantone processed colored chips. I'm going to hit open, and it'll take a second for this to load because it's a lot of colors. And now you'll see why I hid the others. This is a lot of colors to choose from. Now it's organized in a very pleasing way. It's easy to figure out what's going on. We're basically running from the saturated to desaturated of all of these colors, running from yellows, oranges, reds, purples, blues, greens, and then the browns. So it's really actually quite well organized color palette. I would use this for basically any type of process colored project that you're working on because it's very precisely regimented and it's going to give good results. Whereas just randomly picking colors from this color picker over here can lead to problems, especially when you get to the extreme end over here with the really saturated colors with the reds, the greens, and the blues. And the reason why is because when you're dealing with the extremes of RGB, they tend to be much broader in the red, green, and blue, which are the primaries of RGB, than cyan, magenta, yellow, and those extremes tend to not be well represented within RGB. So those two color spaces don't communicate well with each other. And this is the reason why something like the Pantone process coded is such an important color swatch file for you to be able to choose from, because this is going to save you the headache of trying to figure out, is that color going to be available or not?